Meghan Markle's half-brother Thomas has not hidden his feelings on the Duchess. He's very angry at her, and a lot of people are angry at him. I'm very excited because we got him here to finally tell us the truth. Welcome to Popcorn Planet. I am Andy Signor. Very excited because we have an exclusive here. Ladies and gentlemen, Thomas Markle Jr. Welcome, sir. Thank you for being here.
How you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm happy to have you. I've been looking for this talk where we can really get into what happened, because honestly, I think fell for the narrative that was out there by Meghan, that you guys were just clout chasing out there trying to get your share and yada, yada, yada. And I'm got to be honest with you, fully transparent. I was just ignorant to it. I'm here in the US. I didn't really follow the royals. And as my colleague really has educated me, and I've dug in and actually researched this, I've gotten angrier and angrier at Meghan, and especially the treatment towards your family. And I think it's really imperative you guys get your voice out there and people really hear the story here, because it's so much more complicated than the media has put out there. So I want to say welcome, and I got your back on this because I have done some homework, but I'm hoping you'll be able to illuminate me even more so, and our audience who maybe is unfamiliar. But can we start back with sort of what you guys were good, right? You, Meghan, the family, you're older, but you guys had a good relationship growing up. It wasn't until she left for Prince Harry. When did that change?
Pretty much when she met Prince Harry. I mean, her attitude started changing quite a bit when she was off to college, and then she went on to Suits. Like I said, we had a good time growing up. We spent a lot of birthdays and holidays together, and nobody really knows what exactly changed her. It's a mystery. To go from having a great family. I mean, she's not an orphan. She's not an only child. Her mom's got a huge family. Spent a lot of Thanksgivings and Christmases there, and it's a doozy. Nobody can figure it out. I mean, at this point, did she fall and bump her head and forget she had a family? Nobody knows.
It's weird because she was with her mother, right, for a while in the beginning, but then through most of her adolescence, right, teenage years through college, she was with your father, right? And so from everything we've seen, treated well, paid for, taken care of. Why, I don't know if whatever you're liberty to say, like, why was that? Why was she with your dad instead of her mom?
I don't know. Nobody knows what happened to Doria for those years. Only Doria
knows. She was just
knows.
Missing? She left?
She probably got abducted by an alien ship or something, I mean, I don't know, really, honestly.
You joke, but okay, but we don't know that's not out there as to why, but the reality was she wasn't in the picture.
No, she was not. Dad was there doing everything.
How long was that? Was a decade, right? Over a decade of time where she was with you guys, with as you were coming out as well, but with your dad. She's then does that. She goes to school. Your dad's in the industry. And then she's following through with the industry. She's doing her gigs, etc. She's clearly staying in touch. We've seen images. So then she lands Suits. You'd say around Suits, you start seeing a difference in her?
Yeah, my dad paved the way for her entirely. She got a little thing on General Hospital. She got a couple little spots. Horrible Bosses, the FedEx Girl, a commercial. That was all my dad's doing, paving the way and making sure she got those auditions and was there on time and followed through and really just, set the pace for her. And then she went off to Suits, even after Deal or No Deal, that was another big one for her. But when she went out to Suits, I guess she changed. She started getting too good for herself and too good for everybody else.
So at that point, were you proud of her? Were you guys interacting? Like everything was good up until that point? She tries to paint this picture that you guys weren't really together. Is that unfair to say?
Well, she's in Canada. I've always been in, California most of the time, running my own businesses and working for myself, even working for the studios a bit. So, LA is a really big place. You got the San Fernando Valley, you've got Topanga, Malibu, all that. And then you've got all downtown LA. So you can be in LA and still never see your family for a week or two because you're over the hill on the other side working.
I can
So
I can verify that. My brother lived in Venice. I lived in Encino. I barely saw him because you don't want
yeah,
to drive the 101 for that hour long every time.
traffic all
Fair,
the
but you
time. It's a
guys stayed in
nightmare.
touch, and you were watching from afar even when you weren't there, checking in and seeing. Were you happy for her that she was succeeding in this acting and or at least starting to?
Yeah, of course I was happy for her. I mean, I didn't see much of her even when she went off to college. And like the last time we spent any time together was before my grandmother's death, and then at my grandmother's memorial. But she was with Trevor then, so and then she went off to Toronto.
Did you
Toronto.
did you you met Trevor? You liked him? Did you guys interact? I mean, I don't want to get into it, but did he seem like a good person for
Trevor's an
her?
awesome guy, really super nice guy. He bent over backwards for her, and boy, he worshiped the ground that she walked on. And he was very successful then. He's even more successful now. But I don't know. Only
Hmm.
Megan can answer those questions.
It's interesting because he has not said anything, and I'm not asking you to speak privately, but it sounds like he's just going to avoid all that. He seems like he's
Well,
above that.
when you fly out across the country to go visit your wife almost every weekend to stay in touch while she's out there working, and then one day you get your ring back in the mail. Ouch. So I talked to Trevor once a long time. A few years ago, I was trying to put a project together and we were emailing back and forth, and I was asking him for help, and he goes, "Yeah." He says, I can help you out and point you in the right direction, but if you mention her name, I'll never talk to you again."
Wow. So he doesn't
So
want anything to do with that, and respect. So we'll keep him
no.
out of it, right? Sounds like he was hurt. He wants to move on with his life. I guess he's married now. We wish him well.
Yeah,
Good for
yeah, he's
him.
married to a very attractive woman who's very well off, and he looks very happy.
Self-sufficient. I see what you're doing there.
Right.
Well, so why? Clearly, I know you take shots at her. You're angry. I guess where did the anger really start? It was when Prince Harry's in the picture, and from what I sense, tell me if I'm wrong. It seems like your anger really stewed from how she treated your dad, because your dad's the one
Well,
who's really gotten the short stick of all this the most, and your sister. But it seemed like your dad's really just been blown off and disrespected. And as at the little engagements I had and
yeah,
seen of you, you really stand up for him and want to support him and love him. And you just feel like
yeah.
she's just completely cut him off. Is that unfair to say?
Yeah, no, she totally has. But it all started for me when I was being harassed by the paparazzi, just chased around, my picture taken, gone from a private citizen to everything in my life exposed. And I was pissed. I was irritated. And I found somebody to reach out to the palace, and I got some correspondence back, some emails back and forth from an attorney friend from their spokesperson at the palace named Naomi Smith. Or, yeah, Naomi, I think it's Naomi Smith. Yeah. Um, and her feedback was that I am distant family and she doesn't know those people. So that really pissed me off, and that hurt because I couldn't understand where it was coming from. I didn't ask her for anything except for do something about this is your problem, the paparazzi and the press. Nobody has come to talk to me. Nobody has come to tell me how to deal with the press. Just thrown out there to the wolves. So that was in the very beginning before the wedding. And then the ultimatum that she gave my dad before the wedding to disown, Meghan said to disown me and Samantha if dad wanted to come to the wedding.
Oh,
And
I didn't realize
that
that
is,
she made an ultimatum to he needed to disown you both if
yes,
he wanted to come,
yes.
which he didn't do. Good for him.
Of course not. He told her word for word. He goes, I wouldn't disown any of my kids. You
So
know, I mean,
why was
we're just like any other normal family in the world, right? We all have problems. Family, you can be pissed off at people as long as you want to, but you always come together at the end, no matter what. And
absolutely you fight, you
for
come back
this,
together. It's family, yeah.
and for my dad, like dedicating the majority of his successful career and life to her, and this is what she does to him at the end, especially all her videos about like, we need more men like my father at her UN speech. My dad's great. He's wonderful. Hi, daddy, waving all the time. What happened? Right? Well, you just like, she must think that like everybody was gonna try and get something from her. Nobody gives a shit about her and what she's got. but there is no reason on earth that she claims to be this humanitarian and this wonderful, caring, giving, charitable person when she's got a sister in a wheelchair for many, many, many years with MS, hasn't ever reached out once to say, oh, sorry, it gets a little emotional for me.
Take your time. Yeah, I get it.
She's never reached out to my sister, not once. And my sister was there for her way more than I was. Vonnie or Samantha, is there anything that I could do for you that would make your life easier? Not one phone call, nothing, never once. Even me for the last year and a half down here with Dad. Hey Tom, is there anything that you need that would make your life a little bit better, make things easier for you down there? Or because this is a lot of work. This is not easy. It's a lot of mental responsibility, But
well, I think that's what you said is important for both you and Samantha, was that how are you supposed to prepare for the onslaught of the paparazzi and the invasion of your own privacy without not only help but no warning, and then you're thrusted in this world and you have no idea how to handle it. I think a lot of people aren't really understanding that, and the hypocrisy of then Meghan struggling with it so much, where she's out there complaining you're doing it, they're having it happen to you as well. And she's not even attempting to reach out to, which was just weird. It's like, even if you guys, and I'm just saying, like, let's play her scenario out for a minute. You guys are disgruntled. You'd want to bring you guys closer to avoid alienating you and making you even more upset. So it just makes no sense what she's doing in either way, in either scenario that she's trying to tell the world, because clearly you guys are just mad, upset, grumpy, or whatever about the scenario you're thrusted in, and she just ignores you. So you attempted to reach out. Why did she separate you two, you think, so much from your dad?
I don't know. Maybe deep down inside, she wanted to be an only child. I don't
she said
really
that.
know.
That's just for people who don't know, right? That was a quote she said, where she said she was an only child, where she just ignored you both.
Yeah, I guess, but the fact of the matter is that she's not. I mean, so what if I was 15 and Samantha was 17 when she was born? We were just, we were a family even before she was there, but we're still a family. She's it's bizarre.
So at that point, you guys are frustrated. You're reaching out. I'm not asking about Samantha, because I hope to talk to her at some point too and hear her story. But you're both dealing with this. You both are attempting to talk to the press a bit because you don't know what else to do, or you're complaining or whatever. You're also not she's now got the security of the royals, the prince. Everything she's doing is paid for, security up the wazoo, and you guys are stuck without anything. I imagine that takes its toll.
It does, because we were dealt this and now we just have to deal with it. And it's going to continue going on for forever. I mean, I don't see an end to this. And I mean, I can deal with just about anything, but I'll sit and I'll bitch and I'll moan, and I have every right to defend myself when there's a paid PR campaign to make, our family look bad. That has been going on since the beginning. All these hillbilly jokes and trailer trash and criminal, alcoholic, drug addict. This is the shit I've had to deal with. It's messed up when people recognize you in public. I mean, they used to point fingers and give you dirty looks. At least now, more and more people are starting to realize, hold on a second, Meghan's been lying about this the whole entire time, and Meghan can't tell the truth to save her own ass. Now everybody's actually sees wow, the Markles are a pretty good bunch of people. Nice family.
Yeah, well, I mean, you've done interviews. I think that's allowed. You've put your narrative out there as you're allowed, and they've done it too. That's what's so weird. They seem to be mad at you guys for airing dirty laundry or speaking of the press, whereas she then does a whole Netflix special getting paid $100 million to do it, and then Harry's writing a book exposing the royal family. At this point, it must feel like, all right, finally, some karma, right? Some justice is being served here, where people are seeing that she's doing the things she accused you guys of doing. Are you feeling some vindication?
I would love for any production company to come forward and hit me up for the real documentary about the Markles. Something that Oprah doesn't do. I mean, Oprah, what is wrong with you? I thought you were a journalist and you get two sides to the story, because there always is. And we have gotten nothing. It seems like everybody just like puts the damper on it and doesn't really want to say what we record. It's really bizarre. It's a good story there.
Yeah, I'll follow up on that. I'll help you do that. I mean, look, I want to continue this in another part because I want to talk more about your dad, what's going on, and I want to promote this because what part of the reason we're doing this is I want to make sure we're helping your dad who's just suffered a stroke. He's now doing pretty well. I got to say, it was good to see him in some of these recent interviews where he's out there and he's just pleading to see his grandkids, which is just truly heartbreaking as it's out there. Now, there's a GoFundMe out there if anybody is inclined to help. I'll put this in the description. Thomas, just want to make you guys know there are a lot of fake ones out there that are scammers. This is the one that's official, the one that says Thomas Markle Get Well with Thomas Markle Organizing. I'm going to put the link in the description here and in the comment. So if it's not that link, chances are it's a phony. So report it and please support to this one. But I want to talk more about your dad and get into the specifics of what your dad's going through and the fact that I believe your dad is absolutely innocent. He's been tarnished, I think, the worst with all these sort of the paparazzi paid him to do so and so and so. A lot more has come forward to declare his innocence. So if you're willing, I'd like to do a part 2 where we're going to go do that over on Popcorn Palace. So guys, make sure you come on over there. We're going to do that. It's going to, I think, today. In the meanwhile, if you want to hear from more of the real Thomas Markle, you can go over to his YouTube channel, The Real Thomas Markle Jr. and Friends. I'm going to put that in the description as well. We got a lot more to talk about with him. So please come back for part 2. Hear him out, man. I'm glad you're doing this because I could see how this is. This is family. You don't want to air dirty laundry. You want to be the better person. And I don't feel like you guys really were that aggressive out there. It's sure, some of us maybe bought this narrative, but I'm glad you're finally sticking out. And when you do it, you're just honest about it. You're not really getting anything out of it, but just trying to tell people the truth, just like she's attempting to do. So I applaud you, sir. I'm glad you're here. I hope this will help. Let's talk more about your dad in part 2. Guys, stay tuned. If you haven't already, hit the subscribe button here and to Thomas Markle Jr.'s channel. Hit the bell for all alerts. Smash that thumbs up. And head on over to Popcorn Palace for part 2 because we got a lot more to talk about. Stay tuned.